Hey Dragon Slayers, today's video is about why poor food quality prevents you from losing weight. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel out. Let's get started. 40 years ago, the American government declared a war on fat. Concerned that fat was contributing to cardiovascular disease, they advised people to stay clear of all kinds of fat, especially saturated fat and cholesterol. This declaration catalyzed the low fat movement, forcing the food industry to develop fat free foods. With the removal of fat, however, the food industry had a big obstacle to overcome: taste. Fat makes food taste great. So the food industry replaced fat with sugar and flavor enhancing chemicals in its products, which caused obesity rates to skyrocket. In the 1960s, fewer than 14% of Americans were considered overweight. Today, that number is closer to 40%, with projections forecasting that 50% of Americans will be obese by 2030. When you see a low fat label on a product, quickly put it back on the shelf. Equate low fat to high sugar, high toxic ingredients, two things that will quickly cause you to pack on the pounds. Why did these new trendy low fat foods products cause us to gain weight? The irony is that they are now discovering that ultra processed foods, like those found in many popular diets, make us insulin resistant. Insulin resistance is a term that is getting a lot of press these days, largely because so many people are struggling with obesity and diabetes. But what is it exactly? Insulin resistance is a condition in which your cells can no longer successfully use insulin as a hormone to escort sugar from your food into your cells. When your cells become unable to use the glucose for fuel, not only will you experience a depletion in energy, but they will store the unused glucose as fat. This is the root cause of metabolic syndrome, which is defined as having three out of the five components: obesity, high blood pressure, high blood triglycerides, high blood sugar, or low levels of HDL cholesterol. When reports emerge showing that only 12% of Americans are metabolically fit, we know we have a collective health problem. Let's take a look at how insulin is supposed to work. Insulin is your sugar storing hormone. Your pancreas releases this hormone after you eat a meal to escort the sugar from that meal into your cells. The more sugar dense a meal, the greater the insulin release. A constant influx of insulin will flood your cells, overwhelming the receptor sites that allow the hormone to perform its job. Receptor sites are the gates on the outside of your cells that open up to let hormones in. The more insulin that floods these gates, the more congested these gates become, like a big cellular traffic jam. It is in this moment that your cells become deaf to insulin. Much like you may constantly ask your spouse to do a household chore, the more you ask, the less they seem to hear you. Your cells do the same thing with insulin. Once they stop responding to insulin, both the excess insulin and sugar will be stored as fat. Diets that don't help you manage this insulin response will set you up for failure. That's what I've got for you guys today. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel out. And remember, guys, that together, you and I will slay the dreaded diabetes dragon.